more and more. There is no doubt that trillions of dollars a month worldwide are stolen from the people of the West to finance the globalist takeover of the planet. And what's so dangerous about it is the globalists have all written books, all made statements about what their plan is for the New World Order. Their plan is worldwide poverty and forced population reduction. They want to bankrupt every family in the world except for a few dozen families so they can control you with their fiat currency and bring in total technocratic world slavery. And the reason there are so many people here today and millions watching in the real free press across the world is because humanity has figured out that we're in deep trouble and that these dangerous parasites have ill will towards us.
Putting it politely, isn't it?
It's not that they don't care about us. They care about killing us. They want the world for themselves. They've stolen the governments. They've stolen the money. They've stolen the cultures. They've stolen almost everything. And now they want us out of the way so they can move forward into the future with all the technology that humankind developed. They take the ideas and the energy of you, the creative, and they use it against you. And I'm here to tell you how to stop them. Fight them with information. Fight them with truth. Fight them with art. And never give up and realize that we are in a war. That they are attacking us, that they are attacking our families, that they are attacking our nations, that they are attacking our cultures. They want us absolutely neutralized so they can take over this planet, and I'm going to break that down today. But first off, I want to say this. The globalists absolutely are angry today to know the shadow government and the periscope of their subterranean world tyranny that has popped up just a few hundred yards away from us, the Bilderberg group. They have fought for 60 years to maintain their secrecy, and they have threatened their reporters and their media institutions all over the world that they would be fired if they ever even wrote the words Bilderberg. And now all of us together and the real media have forced this out in the open. And I'm here to tell you without a shadow of a doubt, today is the true beginning of the fall of the Bilderberg group. Today is just the beginning. Today is just the beginning of the fall of the dinosaur deception media. And today can truly be marked as one of the key points on the map of history of when humanity rose up and the sleeping giant prepared to defeat the globalists. No one can deny, and you know it in your gut, you know it in your spirit, you know it in your mind, that this is a historical day. And for all of you that ran the gauntlet to get here and spent money you didn't have and slept in ditches, to all of you, you are part of history, and I salute you. Inside there now are the sons and daughters and the children of some of the most evil people this world has ever seen, a true synthesis of evil. But out here is a true synthesis of free humanity facing them. And they are watching us now on the live video streams that are at Infowars.com and other sites. They are watching the streams at DavidIke.com and WeAreChange.org. They are watching those streams, and they will be watching these videos next week and next month because they know that this signifies the beginning of the end of their tyranny. The free people of Earth, unified against the transhumanist globalist, will shake off these Lilliputians like the small demonic creatures they are. So make no mistake. They are watching now, and we are watching. And our message to the Bilderberg Group and the global crime syndicate that they represent is that humanity is awake and staring and aware of your crimes, and nothing on earth is going to stop the judgment of justice that is coming down on you now. Now, I'm going to get into some pretty scary points here in a moment, but it's in facing these terrible truths that we have a chance to turn the tide. We have the initiative. We have the future. We will win if we want to. And I know in my heart and in my mind we will. The question is, how tough is it going to be? But just remember, like ripples in a pond, everything we do here today, everything you do, goes on forever. And that's why it's so important that all of you came here, but it's so important that you realize, and many of you do, that you are the resistance, that you are the future, that it is you that is going to control your destiny, working with other like minds. And that's why we have to salute people like Westbrook Pegler, more than 55 years ago, first reporting on Bilderberg when they didn't even know what the name was. And then Jim Tucker for 36 years, who just died about 4.5 weeks ago. In his home in Georgia, who tirelessly traveled the world and was shot at and arrested and demonized, and the media would laugh at him and say, this crazy guy's going around saying some group of royalty and banking and the tops of academia are meeting in secret. Why, that's illegal. That can't be happening. It doesn't exist. Just 4 years ago, the New York Times wrote that I was in Chantilly, Virginia, walking around in a hotel grounds like this, imagining Bilderberg. This is while there were helicopters, police, four-wheelers, Marines, Secret Service aiming MP5 submachine guns at us, and the New York Times thought the American people were such stupid scum that they told him it didn't exist. And by the way, the New York Times is a shadow of its former self, and so are all the other globalist organs, because the people know that they're being lied to, thanks to the truth tellers and the trailblazers that came before us. So we salute Jim Tucker. Your work will live on forever. And make no mistake, what we're doing here today will live on forever. The fact that they even have to admit that there are groups above government and that there are special interests. For those of us that have been awake for a while, that's comically simple. But for a lot of people, if they admit that's going on, then they've got to get up off their butts. Then they've got to investigate. Then they've got to find out what's happening with the austerity. They've got to find out how their tax money is going to people that control trillions of dollars and are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Then they've got to discover from that area, that entrance of the rabbit hole, what comes next. And that's why it's the beginning of the end of these people if we want it. Because they are committed to their program of austerity and world poverty and war and tyranny as a tool of control. And it's their dark, wicked nature. They enjoy it. They've written books about it. They think you're too stupid and won't even read what they've said, what they've done. The White House science czar writes 1,100-page books like Eco-Science, bragging about spiking your water with sterilants and carcinogens. It's funny to them. They think you're too stupid to even understand it's going on. So if they tell you it doesn't exist, you'll just shut up and go away. But we're not going away. And once you realize that they're playing a mind game, and once you realize it's a hoax, and you go through that, there's no putting the genie of liberty back in the bottle again. It is over for the globalist, one way or another. Now, I showed this on my TV/radio show yesterday when David Icke was in studio with me, and I held up the London Independent from Thursday. And the cover was 40% of people in the UK, 40% will have cancer by 2020. 40% of the people that live here will have cancer by then. They showed the graph and the statistics. It's actually going to be far worse than that. And there's no discussion of why are the pediatric cancers in the US, England, and other areas up thousands of percentile points? Why do we lead the world in breast cancer, thousands of percentage points above Latin America and other countries? And the list just goes on and on and on. And then you go research what the Rockefellers were into in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And then you discover all the major university studies and the whole plan that they have been putting cancer viruses. That's why there's hundreds of new bizarre cancers that never existed. That's why 50 years ago, I've talked to medical doctors, 30 years ago, doctors would fly across the country to see a child with cancer. Now I can walk out my front door and see children with cancer playing in the playground anytime I go there, with their chemotherapy, roach poison injectors hooked up to them, with their parents in sorrow knowing they're going to die and not going to make it. And these are the eugenicists on record. The leadership of Bilderberg are literally putting cancer viruses in your children's vaccines. They are putting hydrofluorosilicic acid, major Harvard studies, they have known forever that massively increases cancer, massively increases IQ reduction, and that's because these people are not Nazis. These people made the Nazis. You understand that? The Nazis were kind of like in a mafia family, one of the other capos that got in the way. A group they actually told, you're going to be given the power to take over the world and set up a European Union, Adolf, and Britain's going to join you in the peace treaty we have with you. And then we're going to take the world over together. And Edward VIII and all the rest of this, the King of England was an admitted Nazi. In Germany, when the war started, they double-crossed even the royal family, who thought they were going to be the heads of a new fascist white supremacist order worldwide. That's the incredible information that's mainline history, but you will not see it on the History Channel. And I was here just a few days ago with a European Union member of Parliament, Mr. Batten, and there he was in German quoting the 1938 Nazi German plan for the unified steel agreement and then free trade agreement that would be used to covertly set up a European Union to implode all the sovereignty of the countries that they had not invaded by force and taken over at the end of World War II. The European Union was a plan developed and deployed and given to the Nazis by the robber baron banks that financed him on record to then implode the world economy worldwide, have the German Axis powers come in with the new currency, and then enslave those nations financially to then use social planning as a way through vaccines and other... Never fail, the bullhorn is there. Anyways, I'm talking to this European Union member of Parliament, and I mentioned to him that the EU was an Axis plan. The EU, the whole plan, the Treaty of Rome, the Treaty of Britain, all of these treaties that led up to it after the war, those had actually, word for word, been the Nazi Axis plan to take over the countries that they hadn't invaded, to pressure them into an economic slavery. And this is the plan now that they have been following for 60 years plus, and they've done a really good job of taking over most of the planet. And they did a really good job of keeping the public in the dark about their plans. But now, when a major member of the EU Parliament and members of the UK Parliament and of the German Bundestag are all in the newspapers, and the head of the Italian Supreme Court is in the newspapers, saying Bilderberg was founded by Nazis with the CIA and British intelligence at the end of World War II with a plan to take over the world, just like the West adopted the rocket plans of the Nazis and the intelligence operation plans of the Nazis, and even our military wears the Kurzel helmet of the Nazis, because Germany had been most successful via the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute before Hitler even came to power, adopting the Rockefeller genocide world program of Malthusianism and social Darwinism established right here in the middle of England and then transplanted all over the world. Family courts, taking your children en masse all over the place. Those are unconstitutional under common law. Eugenics courts. Go check your local family court. See when it was established. 1900, 1905, 1910. Same thing in Germany. Same thing in the United States. Same thing in Mexico. It is designed to destroy the family, to destroy humanity, and to dissolve the entire culture of the world and have us all be state-programmed individuals cut off from our fellow humans so that we can't work together to bring these murdering scumbags to justice. And I'll say it right here, right now. The programs of depopulation that have been leaked on record, that are carried out by the Bilderberg Group and State Department Memorandum 200 and other systems, are taking place against all of us. The hydrofluorosilicic acid or fluoride out of your water is an assault of a chemical weapon on you and your family. All of the major genetically modified BT-style crops that Bill Gates deploys, and he's one of the secret visitors this year and been on record, one of the members of Bilderberg for over a decade, those are on record sterilizing and giving cancer to every rodent species they're fed to. The honeybees can't eat it. If they do, they die, ladies and gentlemen. The fluoride, the geoengineering, the GMO, the vaccines, all of it is designed to kill us. And here's what's going to happen. If you keep getting the word out about this, just like we've gone from 1 in 25,000 with autism in the West to 1 in 50-something, people are finally waking up to that. Just like as cancer explodes thousands and thousands of percentage points and people discover, wow, there are government documents they put cancer viruses in the vaccines. There are government documents admitting they put fluoride in the water to lower our IQ, fertility, and to give us cancer. As people discover all this, they're going to know and they're not going to care. These cops, every one of these cops, within 6 years, 40% of them will have cancer. Now, seriously. Now by 2030, it'll be more like 70%. So these cops will remember when they're burying their young child of cancer. And they'll say, oh, this cancer never existed 20 years ago, but all the kids are getting it now. Let's not discuss why it's happening. Let's discuss donating money to find the cure. That'd be like if somebody was stabbing people tonight, like Jack the Ripper. Let's find a way to heal people that have been stabbed instead of finding out who is Jack the Ripper. You understand that? They don't want you to know who's killing you. So listen, these minimum wage security guards, the bobbies out there on the horses, the minions, hey, they're just like us. They will die young. Their children will die. Their husbands will die. Their wives will die. Their loved ones are being murdered. Most of us are already walking dead, soft-killed by the water, the GMO. They've already sliced 10, 20, 30 years off our life. It's on record. A 20-year-old now is like a 40-year-old. Most of us are already walking dead. But here's the thing. If they shoot us like Nazis in a pit, and people see that, they'll fight back. If they hit us with a soft-kill weapon that takes a long time to kill us, and then they make all the money through the National Health Service that's privatized, sucking everything out of your family as you sell your house, sell your car, get rid of everything to go give it to them when their bosses injected you with cancer viruses and put deadly hydrofluorosilicic acid in your water to kill you. Every one of us here, they're just firing weapons right into us. Bioweapons, chemical weapons. They're just firing electromagnetic weapons into all of you. They hate you. They're up there thinking right now, intensify operations. But sir, they'll notice if we don't turn up the ambient kill system slowly. They're already waking up. They're out there right now realizing what we're doing to them. I want to ask you a question. Do you take it personally that they're on record saying they want to reduce world population by at least 80%, and that many of these people have openly bragged that they're putting chemical and biological weapons in the food chain to kill us with horribly debilitating diseases. Do we take that personal?
Yeah.
Then say it with me. I'm going to say it once, we're going to say it over and over again, because I want them to hear it. I want you to direct it that way. We know you are killers. We know you are killers.
We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers. We know you are killers.
And we're going to do something about it.
Yeah!
We are doing something about it. We are doing something right now. Hey, I tell you what, my camera person, why don't you come back here for the live stream and walk around the back and show everybody this huge crowd of people, thousands and thousands, with thousands more being turned away. Are going to be watching this and looking up what we're saying. If you're a viewer out there on television, you're saying, what is he talking about? They're killing us. Look up my film. It's free online. Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Made it 7 years ago. And it covers Bilderberg. And it's only the very tip of the iceberg. So that's some pretty hardcore information that I just put out. In fact, let me see that wireless camera. I'm going to shoot some video up here for everybody. Thanks a lot. So shout out once this crowd, and I'll get it done one way or the other. Thank you. Look at this. It's amazing. You got the globalist up there on the hill. Let's get some video over there. You too, Rich. Get over there. Directing up here live. Look at this great crowd of incredible people. I salute all of you. Incredible job. Absolutely amazing what you're doing. It's so amazing to be around people that have the light of liberty literally pumping in their veins. It is so amazing to be here with you. But let me get back to the hardcore information we were just now breaking down and covering. Folks, when you sit here and you look at what's happening historically, the reason I talk about it being such a big victory is that they've done everything they can to obscure the fact that there is a powerful world, centralized, illegal, fraudulent, globalist operation that is violating every national and state law of any country you look at, whether it's lobbying or toxic waste dumping, and their crimes against humanity are just legion. And you think about, why haven't people gotten upset up until now? They have been, but there wasn't an alternative media to bring people together, to show other people out there that they're not alone. The system is there about, as David was saying, to project the idea that because you don't want to be a slave, or because you don't want corrupt globalists sucking off your tax money, that there's something wrong with you. That because you think the government spying on you without warrants, which is illegal, by the way, is a bad thing. You're not crazy. They're crazy for trying to sell that idea on people. And I've used this analogy many, many times, a historical parallel, because there are a lot of examples of this. And it basically boils down to this. If you look at cultures, there's always degenerate people that generationally tend to get into control because they crave power, they crave dominance. Look at the Romans, look at the Aztecs, look at what some of the Druids did. It would always end up being based around human sacrifice, slavery, human domination. And that's because good people do not have a hunger to go out and dominate and control people, so they stand down and let the bad people have control. But if the bad people, the corrupt people, can hide behind walls and have the world not even know their names, they can bring in puppet prime ministers and puppet presidents and have them take the blame. They can have people believe that, you know, Bill Clinton actually ran something, or Barack Obama actually ran something, or Ronald Reagan actually ran something. That's what they want to do. But as soon as you understand that there are these globalists and that they're actually in control of most of the world, you then have the moral high ground to tell them you don't have a right to rob me and my family and get rid of our Magna Carta and get rid of our Bill of Rights and Constitution. You don't have a right to make us your slaves, and we're standing up and we're saying no. It is that simple. And that's what it comes down to. So some of the points I wanted to get to today and talk about are, we can talk about the nightmare of dehumanization, the fact that there's a soft kill program going on, being carried out by the major corporations and drug companies. I mean, there's thousands of examples of secret medical testing here in the UK on servicemen, nerve gassing them, killing them, lying to their families, saying they died of something else. Nobody went to jail. Porting down, the list goes on. And that's only, again, the very surface of what's happening. We've got the Tuskegee experiments in the U.S. injecting black men with syphilis and letting them die of it excruciatingly and spread it for 46 years. And that, I only mention that of thousands of cases because that's something that people know about. That's something that's been heavily publicized. But all of this stuff is still going on because the cockroaches in there see us that they live off of as a bunch of cockroaches. And so that's why it's so important to realize they've been caught doing all this evil stuff before, but no one ever held them accountable because they controlled the media and they made it too complex to get information out. So they set up the internet to be this panopticon dehumanizing spy grid, but it cuts both ways. We are hijacking their system at a level that they can't shut down and expose the crimes that they've been committing. So, all of you know about secret experimentation, don't you? Yeah. Secret experimentation has been declassified over and over again. It's been leaked. Whistleblowers have gone public, radiating thousands of U.S. foster kids, killing them. Same thing in the U.S. These are monsters. The stuff that Joseph Mengele did in Nazi Germany, the things the Soviets did in Russia, pales in significance to what the so-called free West has been doing beneath the surface. If you think Savelle and the BBC and hundreds of raped children and necrophilia is anything, that again is only the surface. Bayer Pharmaceutical was found guilty in France, but the documents came out from the US, Australia, you name it. For 10 years, knowing that Factor VIII blood product for hemophiliacs and others had HIV and hepatitis in it and was a death sentence, and the documents came out that they knew it had it in it and shipped it out because they didn't care. And it wasn't because they didn't care. They cared a hell of a lot to take that risk to kill people. Okay, I mean, listen, the reason I'm getting up here telling you this, they might kill me for it, but that's fine, because there's no future. Get this, they don't want to just kill the individual. The globalists are killing the entire planet. They are playing God. They are genetically engineering everything. They believe they're going to evolve and merge with machines. They believe we're ugly and bad because they're so wicked and ugly themselves. To them, beauty and honor and innocence is weak and ugly. They want to remake the world in their ugly image, and we're not going to let them do it. No. So that's why I came to England this year, and it's great to be here with everyone today, and it's just wonderful to see you all. We love you as well, and it's really touched my heart to be able to speak to all of you. And I got to be honest, it's exciting to confront these people and just look at this image, look at this scene. We have crashed their mafia eugenics proto-Nazi party. We have crashed it, and they know it's the beginning of the end for them, because what they had going for them was, oh, no one's spying on us without warrants. Oh, fluoride's not giving us cancer. Oh, there's no elites meeting in secret. There's no Bilderberg group for decades, and now they're discredited. And now, because people can admit this exists, now they're going to go look up Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation giving people polio in India under the vaccine program. Now they're going to look up in Africa and Latin America. It's in their newspapers. They've done the test, adding sterilants to the vaccines. People are now going to go look up the 24 Harvard studies where they knew that hydrofluorosilicic acid destroys your immune system, gives you cancer at massive rates, and lowers your IQ. Ladies and gentlemen, you can always see what the globalists have planned for you by countries that they've captured and countries they've controlled. Look at Iraq, over 1 million dead just since the last war. Look at Africa, where some countries have 40+% HIV rates, and they've done medical studies and the women have never had sex, and they say it must have been dirty needles from the vaccines. No, it was what was in the vaccines. And again, HIV is just a cover name for a whole bunch of soft kill weapons they're using. Because I run into so many yuppies, and this is important, I run into so many trendies and people who think this is all a big joke, and they say, okay, Alex, there are too many people. Okay, I did go look it up where all these globalists said forcibly reduce population, turn off the food, turn off the water, bring in austerity. What do you want to do? Let humans destroy the earth? Meanwhile, the globalists are the ones GMOing and vandalizing the entire genetic code of the planet. Meanwhile, it's the globalists that are committing all of these huge crimes and destroying the earth. So they come to humanity and they say, you're the problem, and then get you to think that you're bad so that you'll give up on your own life force and give up on your own self-preservation instincts so they can have the planet and the entire future for themselves. But I want to tell all the yuppies and everybody else out there, the globalists aren't just stealing the money because they are greedy. They are stealing the resources, cutting off the industries, destroying the economies, because they want you under their control to then begin shutting off society. This has only just begun. And the people out there that say there are too many humans, even if that is true, we better come up with plans for clean energy, new science and technology that these people are blocking. Because the people that say, hey, there's too many, I mean, I talk to so many professors, grassroots people too, that say, hey, there are too many people, maybe the elite are doing the right thing. And my answer is, do you understand they're doing it to you too? Did you get a memo not to drink the fluoride? Did you get a memo not to eat the GMO? Did you get a memo about geoengineering? Because it's come out that Monsanto, and it's come out that all these big companies in their own cafeterias won't eat their own GMOs, ladies and gentlemen. This has all come out. The Chinese communists won't eat their own GMOs. The elites in Europe have clean vaccines for themselves. That's the big ultimate secret, is they're running a giant chemical bioweapon soft kill operation against humanity. And if you come away with anything, it's this: for God's sakes, warn everyone you know. People have worked so hard to bring you this information. And the reason the world is beginning to wake up is a scientific fact of physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And so as their evil and their global plan becomes evident, and as everything that patriots before us warned us about comes true, and as the liberty movement's credibility rises, and as the public researches these facts, the globalists are only going to intensify their operations, but that's only going to light a fire under everybody else's butt to take action against them. And if we all realize just how incredible this time is, we have a great chance of beating this. But it's the overwhelmingness of this program that is their greatest asset in the Bilderberg group and inside the New World Order, because it is a dystopic science fiction novel. But you see them in all the movies programming us for the type of future they're building. 20 years ago, it's now reality. But if we wake up to it and have a seismic shift across the board and really make it the focus of our lives to get outside the box and make the focus of our lives to wake up others, they will fall. And in closing, I want to leave you with this. In closing, I want to say this to everybody that's out there. It is essential. Hey, if you don't yell back at provocateurs, you won't even be able to hear them. They just want to start a fight. Doesn't matter. Just a drunk guy. Hey, I think it's great. Anyways, getting back to what I'm saying. The most important thing is what I have to keep on.
Sit down.
All right, I will keep going here. I tell you what, they told me I could go as long as I wanted. You just got another hour, bro. ladies and gentlemen, what we've got going on here is people trying to disrupt this because they're afraid of the truth, and this information is obviously extremely frightening to them.
Hold on,
and
where's
that's
violence
understandable.
coming
But I need to get back to the key point here, which you distracted me
Hold
from.
on, where's the violence coming
The
from?
reason we have to face the truth, the reason we have to realize just how much peril we're in is because there is no future. The globalists think they're God. They're playing like they're God. They're operating and acting. Come on around here so you're not in all that noise, okay? You want to tape it, just come on around back here. You get my crew around here, Richard? Just everybody go in the back. Good. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, everything that the power structure is dedicated to doing is to teaching you that you don't have any power. Everything that they're dedicated to doing is teaching you that you don't have any hope. But the truth is, if you admit that this globalist program is going on, if you admit that the New World Order operation is taking place, it is the end of these people. And that's all we've got to do. It's become so insanely transparent now in this society, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are destroying our world. Look at what they did in 2008. They imploded the world economy by design. I interviewed members of Congress who were in the closed-door meetings when Henry Paulson, former Federal Reserve minion, came before that committee and said there'll be martial law. You can pull these video clips up. Blood in the street if you don't give us unlimited money. And then they signed the people of the West, your governments did the same thing under this unified agenda, onto the derivatives that 90+% of it is not even the people's debt. And then 5 years later, they've convinced us that we've all got to have our taxes raised and so-called services cut because we have incurred this debt when the debt is really the globalists and they have signed us onto it. And that information is a fact. And all we have to do is expose it. Now again, there's more speakers coming up here in a little while, but I just want to point out to everyone that is here that what you have seen take place here with the Fringe Festival and the grassroots people and Charlie Skelton and his wife and Silky and all the people that made this possible to put up this makeshift set, to put up the equipment to do all of this was a labor of true grassroots love, the absolute opposite of what's going on in there. And I'm here to tell you that it is a beautiful sight to see David Icke happy to climb up, and it was hard for him, he's got arthritis, up on the back of here. I had to jump up there, it was hard for me. I mean, that's what it's all about. Here we are, there's no red carpets, there's none of that. And it feels good, it's great. I've been on red carpets, they're creepy. Red carpets are a thing from Greece that the gods walked on red carpets. The gods walked on the blood of their slaves. That's what these people are into. They are totally anti-human, insane narcissists. And it is so amazing to be able to come here and meet and talk to all of you today and to see the light of liberty and the light of humanity shining through your eyes. It humbles me at a level that I have just never experienced to be here confronting the globalists in this idyllic setting here in England with all of you and to see that spirit of humanity shining in your eyes. I pray that this spirit of freedom and awakening spread across the world and that the sleeping giant Continuing here, it is absolutely essential. It is key that all of us that have been here today continue on and become leaders in your area. And I know I've said that several times, but you are the leaders, you are the answer, you are the resistance, you are the future. And the fact that humanity is beginning to awaken also indicates to us that deep down in our survival instinct, in our discernment, we know that the hour is short because they know that the hour is short, and they're accelerating their dehumanization program because they crave power and submission more than anything else. And that's why I want you here today to pledge with me to never submit or surrender to the forces of the New World Order. A couple of words. We will never surrender. 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 Make no mistake, what we are doing now, what is happening here now is the same fight that our ancestors, no matter where you come from, no matter what your history is, all of our ancestors had to stand against tyrants like these. And this particular tyranny goes all the way back to the black nobility of Italy and that system of imperial control and the Byzantine Empire later that came and landed in the British Isles and used the great people of these isles as the engine for their tyrannical world government. And so when I say the answer to 1984 is 1776, I want everyone to know who lives in the UK, 1776 belongs to you more than it belongs to anybody. There was 1,000 years of war in these isles just to get the Magna Carta, and hundreds of years more war to defend basic liberties of free men and women. And Tony Blair, when he first got elected in 1996, said, "My main job is to abolish Magna Carta." That is the equivalent of saying, I want to abolish due process and freedom. I want to make the UK like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. And that's the most important point that I'm here to make to you today, is that they are afraid of people having basic rights. And the Parliament would not vote to launch a war against their fellow Englishmen and women and Germans and many others from all over the world that lived in the colonies, because they recognized it was a continuation of the fight that humans have been fighting forever. That's what it was, until the king came and said, how dare you, you will vote for this war. But 6 years later, the colonies had freedom, and they weren't perfect either. But that idea continues to grow on. And that's why I want to tell everybody in the UK, it was an Englishman, Eric Blair, aka George Orwell, who envisioned the nightmare future of 1984 because he worked in MI6. He worked as an imperial policeman before that. He was on the inside. Winston Smith was the character of himself in the future as he saw it. And so it was an Englishman that envisioned the tyranny of 1984, and it was Englishmen and other great people that envisioned 1776. And 1776 belongs to you. King George III, nothing against Germans, I'm part German, but King George III was a Hanoverian, German, and Transylvanian, and they don't like 1776 because it's a continuation of Magna Carta. Why did Tony Blair say, my first job is to get rid of Magna Carta? Because people by the hundreds of thousands died so that the public would have general rights. These have been paid for in blood. And if we let the New World Order win now, everything our ancestors fought for on every continent dies in vain. They call this New World Order the final revolution, the great tyranny. They intend to destroy humanity itself, break up men and women, break up the family, take over the crops, re-engineer the world, so it's impossible for free man and free woman to live in this world. They come to destroy your free will. They come to destroy your future. So we're not talking about an individual death here. We're not talking about one person dying. I'm not worried about being killed, and I know David Icke's not worried either. We're here, no security, up here, climbing up on the stage, because we're just like you, with red blood. And we realize that there is no future for our children and their children. I close with this. My great dream is that your children and my children and their great-great-grandchildren and the great-great-grandchildren of those children, because humanity has not even begun to flower, will be living together in peace and doing things that we can't even imagine today, not just on this planet, but throughout the stars. And that the globalists not be able to take control of humanity and turn it into some robotic plaything for themselves so they can play God. I am here to tell the New World Order, you are not God. If you had any idea of the mind of God, you would not be committing the blasphemy against God's creation that you've engaged in. And here today is the proof in front of the universe. And in front of all the people long gone like Jim Tucker and those before him and William Wallace and so many others, we stand here in defiance, in many cases, of the very same bloodlines that have enslaved us for thousands of years. And we pledge before our ancestors to never surrender. The answer to 1984 is 1776. 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 I salute you all. God bless you all. We are winning. We have the initiative.